Hey guys, on this episode of the Modern Mix, I'm going to be using spray paint to transform this vanity into this. First things first, the prep. We're gonna get our sander and we're gonna sand the entire piece down. We're gonna start out with a 120 grit and work our way up from that to a 220, and if need be you can go to a 320. However, you just want the surface nice and smooth enough that the paint will adhere to it and the finish comes out just right. The best preparation gives you the best finish. You'll notice that your doors have some round over finishes. You don't want to take your Orbital Sander and you're going to want to flow with that shape back and forth to make sure that you get a smooth finish. Remember that it's against the grain, so it's going to be rough. So use the sand and get that out. Now I chose to use the all-purpose acrylic latex caulk plus silicone. That's because it has the waterproof feature and it's paintable in 30 minutes. So it's just for you to put that there so you have that waterproof capacity. You could use a wood putty, but it doesn't have the same waterproof feature. So I just use it to fill all my gaps since I'm already using the latex caulk silicone already. Now you'll notice I put it on the edge here where the plywood shows. That's to give it a smooth finish, just to make sure that everything is nice and flush. Now it's time to get this entire project primed and ready to go. So we're going to apply the primer first. Again, preparation is key, so just get the entire thing primed nice and clean so that when we come back to do the finish layers, everything is perfect. My primer of choice is the Rustoleum Can Primer. Now Rustoleum does make a paint plus primer, just so you can do a one coat. However, that primer is going to give it that perfect finish that I'm looking for. So I'm going to apply the primer first, come back, do some light sanding, and then come back with the paint plus primer to finish it up. So right now I'm just adding my second coat of primer after I sanded it down, and I'm going over it one more time. Now you'll notice as I apply the finished layer of paint that all the gaps and seams that were there when I applied the primer are now being filled in, and it's giving you this clean finish. That's what you're looking for right there. It's always a good idea to wrap a tape around your roller just to get all the fibers all laid out of it so you have a clean finish as well. Everything goes on nice and smooth. What I'm using here is a two-tone offset kind of concept where I'm using a light bunny gray is what they call it to give it a different definition inside. So inside will be gray and outside will be white, and you see the effect that it has on the finished product. A very important piece of advice when you're finishing up your project is that when you finish doing the body of it, come back with maybe a 1-inch, 2-inch brush and just fill in the seams at each of the corners so you have that perfect finish every time. Hey, thank you guys so much for staying with me through the entire video. It was a fun project to do, bringing a piece from where it was to this end product. The client was so pleased that they asked me to come back to do the countertop for them. So you have a countertop video coming up in maybe a few weeks when I get that done. So stay tuned. Remember, while you're here, to smash that like, subscribe, and ring the bell notification so that you can get updates when I release a new project each time and have some more fun with me.